Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Dungeons & Dragons, and we're going to talk about the death of Biggie Smalls. But actually, this specific video is going to be talking about the death of Biggie Smalls in context with Dungeons & Dragons, because this video is actually a warning. All right, so let's jump into this. All right, so I am a huge fan of rap music. I absolutely love it. It's been a part of my life for ever. No, not forever. I was born in 1970. Rap was born in 1973, right? So I guess it has been with with me. Like, I have been alive as long as rap has been alive, right? And I think as soon as I heard my first rap song, I was like, wait, what? So I'm a huge rap fan. And to me, the best rapper who has ever lived, bar none, is Biggie Smalls, also known as Notorious B.I.G. So I have been studying his life recently. I've kind of made as the Magic the Gathering card says, a practical research of his life, right? And I want to delve into the death of Biggie Smalls to determine what lessons we can take from the death of Biggie Smalls about to use as dungeon masters and as dragon players to craft powerful narratives with Dungeons and Dragons. All right, now you're like, wait, what? We're going to explore the death of Biggie Smalls for that? Yes. Now I hear you. You're like, why? That's kind of inappropriate. Like, Biggie Smalls died, man, and like, is that really appropriate to talk about his death in the context of Dungeons & Dragons? That is a completely legitimate question, and I'm going to give you my answer. Here's my answer. All right, so I thought about this, and I'm like, is this respectful to Biggie Smalls to talk about his death, specifically with the purpose of walking away with lessons to make a more powerful narrative in a Dungeons & Dragons campaign, right? And so I think the answer is yes, and here's why, okay? So first of all, I'm an American. Biggie was an American. Dungeons & Dragons is American from birth to its current life moment, right? Dungeons & Dragons, all three are American, okay? And in America, I think what's starting to happen is people are understanding what is the greatest insult in America? What is disrespect in America? It's not talking about something, or it's not even insulting something, right? So okay, in America, if you come across a thing, right? Like, if you come across, and we're talking about an event, right? We're talking about the death of Biggie Smalls, right? So let's talk about it from the context of an event, right? In America, when there's an event, you can do one of three things, right? You can praise it, say, I'm great, I'm glad that happened. You could say, oh, that's terrible, I wish that hadn't happened, right? Or you can ignore it, right? And you can say nothing. And I think we've reached a point in America's history where it is extremely clear. The greatest insult to any American is to be forgotten, to never be spoken of again, to be irrelevant, to be not part of the conversation, right? And I don't want Biggie to ever not be part of the conversation. I remember Biggie to this day. I honor Biggie. I respect Biggie. And I think the best way you honor and respect Biggie is you make sure he's part of the conversation, that his legacy speaks, right? And it is my humble opinion that Biggie's legacy speaks today. And it says some powerful things. And you and I are in the distinct activity, right? The imagination business of building the most powerful narratives on the planet through Dungeons and Dragons. And so from that perspective, considering it, what, should I be praising Biggie's death, saying that Biggie's death shouldn't have happened, or saying nothing, right? And as an American, I feel the greatest insult, the greatest disrespect for any human being is to be forgotten. And so the reason I'm going forward with this is I don't want Biggie to be forgotten. And I want my voice to be part of many voices discussing Biggie's legacy, right? Because I've learned the power of legacy is incredible. We know this from Gary Gygax. His legacy is accomplishing more today than I will say Gary Gygax accomplishes more dead than anybody alive in the current tabletop role-playing game community, to design community. Right? Like, his legacy is doing more for the tabletop role-playing game community, and specifically for Dungeons & Dragons, than literally anyone who is actively designing today, right? So legacies are important, and I really don't want Biggie's legacy to be forgotten. And for that one reason, I got a platform. I'm going to talk about Biggie because I want him never to be forgotten. I think Biggie's should never be forgotten. So that's why I'm going to talk about this. Warning, though, right? You might have a different opinion. You might see Biggie in a different light. You might have different opinions on this event, right? And so I am using this video right here to tell you I'm doing a number of videos about that are going to be delving into the life of Biggie Smalls, specifically to pull out narrative treasure, to be used in Dungeons & Dragons campaigns, okay? That might not be your jam. You might be incredibly offended by that, right? And so one of the things I'm going to tell you right now is, one, I hope you weren't offended by even the discussion of the discussion, right? But you could check out now, right? I'm giving you, so every single one of these videos will be clearly labeled, right? And if you watch this video, that you could like just join me a week or two from now when I'm done talking about Biggie's death, right? Or actually I might be talking about his death for months or years, right? With interstitials between, right? But I wanted to give you fair warning, right? Because to me, and here's the thing, what should be discussed in the context of Dungeons & Dragons? Not everything. The answer is not everything. We need to carefully decide what should be discussed in the context of Dungeons & Dragons. We need to respect the brand. We need to respect we need to respect Gary Gygax's legacy, right? Not everything is in the context of Dungeons & Dragons. Just most things that matter. All right, we need to be careful about them. And so, from that perspective, I just wanted to give you a quick warning. Right. So, thank you for your patience. This is serving as your warning. I will make sure to label every video so that it is clear that it is discussing Biggie's death going forward. If you would like to join me, I'm very happy about that. If you would like to not join me in those videos, I totally understand. So just wanted to give you not a spoiler warning, but a content warning, essentially. All right. All that is my humble opinion. Thank you for letting me share my humble opinion with you. I'm eager to hear your humble opinion on what can and cannot be discussed, in the context of Dungeons & Dragons, and why. All right. Please consider liking or subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.